I believe that the Pentagon's strategists, watching what played out Saturday night into early Sunday morning, though not the ones who are ideologues, but those who are genuine military strategists, fell to their knees on this. Now, I'm not trying to be dramatic or over-exaggerate. They have forgotten how to wage wars, what a military is important for. We know they're top-heavy, a lot of conventional, massive hardware, warships, fighter jets, etc. But these are easy targets in today's wars. They watched an unbelievable, breathtaking military operation. Now, what do I mean by that? Iran used its military very calculatingly in order to serve its political agenda. That's what militaries should be used for. Okay, first off, it went to after the April 1st strike on its consulate, it went to the UN Security Council immediately and requested a condemnation of Israel's strikes on its diplomatic mission. It did not get it. Okay, so then Iran said, well, you hit our soil, our territory. We are within the rules of war and international law to retaliate. Okay, so they did these retaliatory strikes, specifically against military targets, not civilian ones, as we've come to expect from every single Western war. It flooded Israel's airspace and border states with hundreds of projectiles of different speed, firepower, maneuverability, okay? Not just the slow drones that took hours and hours to reach Israel proper, but, missiles that could reach there within 6 or 15 minutes. Iran also used its old weapons systems, things that, they didn't show the enemy anything new, okay? They didn't show them anything new. They used old stocks. But, it didn't use any weapons Israel didn't know about. It just used a lot of them, okay? It gained incredible intelligence that night. It saw basically, Iran now has a full map of Israel's missile defense system banks, okay? That's it. Not only that, it also got to see which countries would jump in, all in to defend Israel. And the list was short. It was the US, the UK, and France, all UN Security Council permanent members, all nuclear states. And then Jordan, because these guys needed an Arab or Muslim fig leaf to do this operation. Iran had warned prior to the strikes and the days leading up to it, all its neighbors, do not participate in this, okay? We will consider you a target. And they obliged Iran. It was just Jordan, which is now taking a lot of flack for it. So the intel that Iran gained from this is, it's a huge strategic cost to Israel. They used the arrows, the THAAD systems, David Sling, the Iron Dome, everything.
Like jets flying in the air.
Yeah, Iran can now calculate which fighter jets of, Western powers will take off from Cyprus, which will take off from Jordan, which will any take off from Turkey, will any take off from the Gulf. Iran understands this now, and it's going to be harder for these players to participate with Israel in a future strike. Importantly, Iran did this alone, absolutely alone. Israel could not do this alone. It needed 3 nuclear powers plus the Arab fig leaf to do this. The defense cost for Israel was $1.4 billion. Iran spent about 2.5% of that night. So Iran could conceivably do this for days and weeks, if not months. And what would happen? Israel's alliance would be bankrupted, and it would be out of stock.
Exactly, because they're already having economic wars. What Yemen is doing in the Red Sea, and so this seems to be the strategy, right? Because what Iran did was successfully hit its targets, was avoid civilian damage and casualties. Gain intelligence, as you're saying, and then hit the pocket of the Israelis, because all of these missiles, they cost millions of dollars to shoot.
Yeah, now let's look at the actual physical outcome of the military operation. What we do know is that Iran struck 3 targets. The Nevatim Air Base in the Negev, it's one of Israel's largest bases. It's where they house they store their F-35Is, which are the fighter jets that Israel modifies from the Lockheed Martin's F-35s. It has stealth fighters, transport and tanker and recon aircraft, and Israel's Air Force One. Okay, so this is a major, major base. It hit Nevatim. It also hit Ramon Air Base in the Negev, and its third target was an Israeli intelligence center on Mount Hermon, which is north of the Golan Heights, the occupied Golan Heights.
Where Hezbollah has been hitting for the past few months.
Yes, yes. So, what does the West say? What do the media say? Iran lost. We hit 99% of the incoming projectiles, okay? So let me ask you this. How did Iran manage to hit the 3 sites it wanted to? All 3 sites connected to Israel's illegal strike on Iran's consulate in Damascus. So all the other things in the air were decoys, okay? And Iran put on a great show. It got to really flex that night, but it had a very specific mission. So essentially, every single target it actually wanted was hit. On what level is this a fail? And it did it without any allies. It grabbed a hell of a lot of intel that night that it will use in all future strikes against Israel, and its allies will use against Israel.